Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Morning, Trainiacs. It is new bike day. This is the Ventum NS1 with Alto wheels and Shimano Ultegra Di2, and let me get right in here, literally. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let me have some breakfast and I'll introduce you. I caved and Alter Ego did the hard stuff. Rightfully so. Look at this thing. So nice. Ladies and gentlemen, Trainiacs of all ages, this is it. This is the Ventum NS1. This is new bike day. This is the new bike day. I know that I enjoy and put that tri-bike through the paces, the Ventum 1, but I like me some road bikes. I look at tri-bikes as like pain, as work. I look at road bikes as fun, enjoyable, going around with friends, comfortable. And let me tell you, I took this for a spin today, and it's nice. It is very, very nice. Let me tell you about it, and let me tell you about why everyone out there should have a road bike. The Ventum NS1 is an aero road bike that is still very, very comfortable. Historically, road bikes have been either very comfortable, made for climbing, a little more compliant and easier on the body, or they've been aerodynamic and very hard on the body. But what's happening with new carbon layups and new road bike designs is you're getting both now. Also, with more room for the wheels and bigger tires, you're being able to use 28, 32 millimeter tires with lower PSI so that the tires and the air pressure in the tires end up taking a lot more load off the body. So I took this thing for a spin today, and it was everything that I wanted it to be. I had to do some really, really hard intervals, and it was very smooth getting up to really high wattages, but at the same time going over all the potholes, all the bumps, all the cracks in the road that normally jar me, that I don't enjoy going over. This really didn't take anything out of that. Normally when I go over a certain section of road, my power drops by about 20 watts, but in this case today, it maybe dropped by about 2 or 3. Because this bike took all of those vibrations from the road like a champ. Let's go through every last little bit. Starting at the front, I ended up going again with the Alto wheels. Why Alto? Because Alto has hub technology that as you are pushing really big watts in the back, it ends up transferring that power in such a way that the wheel stays straight instead of flexing the entire bike back and forth. These Alto wheels are capable of doing tubeless tires. So I went with the new Continental 5000 tubeless ready tires that I put together myself. So you end up taking the tube out, taking a little bit of rolling weight out of the circumference of the wheel so that it can actually spin a lot smoother. You can also get flats, and then the tire basically repairs the flat itself. They are roughly a 60 millimeter deep wheel, so it's kind of a nice combination of being able to climb with the bike and being really nice and aerodynamic. Going down at the bottom of the fork, you can see that this is a disc brake. Here in Winnipeg, we don't have a lot of hills, so the disc brake is a little bit of overkill, but if you ride a lot of hills, the disc brake does a couple of things. Number one, it ends up taking more weight out of the circumference of the wheel because you don't need that really big, beefy braking surface on the outer edge of the wheel that adds a ton of weight. Takes that weight out of the rolling weight of the bike and puts it into the center of the wheel, which is much more stable now. The Ventum also has through axle. Instead of a thin skewer that you have to clamp on, the through axle is a big, thick axle that adds a ton of stability into the bike. I took a couple of corners today, really narrow, and it was just as stable as when I was out riding perfectly straight. Now, what you'll notice about the road bike here is that there is a down tube, unlike on the tri-bike. Ventum actually ended up talking about this internally. Should we make this UCI legal or not? Should we be the company that just throws all the UCI regulations out the window, or should we just make the best bike that we can? And they decided to just be the best bike maker that they can be. That says a lot about the Ventum 1 tri-bike because it sends a statement that they're not in the business of making gimmicky bikes, they're in the business of making good bikes. On the down tube and on the seat tube for the bottle cages, because that actually does make a difference with your weight and your aerodynamics, I went with the Elite Vico Carbon, really super light. Obviously in red, it matches the red of Triathlon Taren and this bike. On the bottom bracket, I did upgrade to the Ceramic Speed bottom bracket because that nice loose rolling resistance from your bottom bracket, I feel makes a nice difference. As far as the group set goes, I did just go with Ultegra. I would have liked to obviously go with Dura-Ace Di2, but I checked with Shimano and they said, sorry, we just don't really have that in stock for sample and promotional purposes, but you can do the Ultegra Di2. And I figured actually, thinking back to it, not everyone can afford full Dura-Ace Di2, and what I've been hearing and what I've been saying is that Ultegra and Dura-Ace are largely very comparable as far as function goes. I should probably see if that's actually the case. And in the ride today, the shifting was just as crisp, the road feel was just as crisp, the braking situation just as crisp as what I would expect from a really high-end group set, but the Ultegra is a little bit cheaper. The downside to it is that it weighs a little bit more. Upside to it though is that the chain and the cassette on Ultegra actually last a little bit longer. They're a little bit heavier, but they wear a little bit better. So there are a number of people here locally that will have a Dura-Ace group set, but then an Ultegra chain and cassette. And as far as the seat goes, I went with the Cobb San Remo saddle. This is actually the same saddle that I took off of my old bike because I really like the feeling of this. It's worn really well. All of the rails on all of the Cobb saddles are a little bit longer, so that actually gives a little bit of shock absorption for the saddle so that you don't actually just have as much roughness on your undercarriage. As far as working on it goes, the bike shop and myself, it wasn't that bad to work on. All of these super high-end bikes are getting a lot more user-friendly to work on so that it's not hundreds of dollars an entire day's worth of work to adjust your height here in the integrated, awesome cockpit that I've put rubber grips on so that I can really grind into hanging on to those really hard efforts down in the drops. And it's fast, Trainiacs. It is fast. I'm a big fan of this. Everything that I've heard about it from people that aren't necessarily sponsored by Ventum but have been lucky enough to be able to ride this way before I did, they said that this is one of the best bikes on the market. And I will say, I'm very excited. My first ride out today, I dug it. Also, fun little thing to know, NS1 means Noor Sear, as in Dia Noor, Jimmy Sear, the two founders of Ventum, #1. So that's it. I am gonna ride the hell out of this thing. That's all, Trainiacs, that's all. I'm happy. It's new bike day, how can you not like this? If you like Ventum, say what's up and hit the subscribe button below.